So I see a mix of developers, students, professionals, people who are already into research. So I'm not sure whether I'll be able to meet the expectations of everyone. But the aim here, as it is said, this is a workshop, not a technical talk or not a research paper presentation. Since it's a workshop, I will start ground up. I will not assume that you know everything. I will not assume that you don't know anything. I will start somewhere in between, start with the basics, and then try to build on the concepts. So my aim here will be to bring out the clarity of concepts, so that later on, in case today there are OS top 10, tomorrow if top 20 come in, you can yourself be able to comprehend what these extra 10 mean, right? That is where I come from, or my aim of this workshop is. I think a couple of you were not there when we were having
Morning everybody. My name is Subbaiah. I am also from the government sector and presently looking after information security aspects. I would like to learn more about web application security aspects which we can implement in our
Morning everybody. I am Ranade and I am from Army. That's all.
Good morning everyone. I am Manish Srivastava. Basically, even I am also from Industrial Defense. So, mainly we are in security, but a limited manner. We are looking after offensive operations also.
Thank you very much. See, there is a small delay because I have to copy my VMware from here to here. I will let it happen and I will start off with the discussion. Just give me 2 minutes and we'll start off. Sorry? Oh, okay. So,
I did not have an IR fluent.
yeah.
I'm Vikram and I'm from Navy.
Alright. Okay. And you are on the security side of things?
Yes, presently I'm working in security.
Okay. And
Mainly defensive part.
defensive. So it is limited to network systems or applications?
Including even document systems also.
Okay. Alright. Came in, there were server-side scripting languages, client-side scripting languages, etc. which came in, and hence the complexity increased. All of you know that the security field has come lately, whereas the IT had been there for a long time. I can compare it to how these days every apartment has a security guard. But if you see 12 years back or even 10 years back, we didn't have the concept of personal security guards in apartments, right? We just used to have a night watchman, that was all. Now, same is the case with IT. When IT started out, there was no focus on security, there was no requirement of security because everything was revolving around trust. Once applications started bringing services to the internet, that is when the concern about security came. But it was pretty late in the chronological order. Hence, these days you find so many security vulnerabilities coming in, so many websites getting hacked, data being stolen, etc. etc. Now I will try to link application services that an organization provides to how a person. Okay, let me tell you something. Web application security as such relies on this fundamental concepts of the web, which is the HTTP protocol. HTTP protocol is one of the simplest protocols which has been designed over the internet. When I say it is simple, it means that it doesn't have any nitty-gritty which the user needs to know, okay, or the developer needs to know. The reason being that HTTP is a request response protocol. It is a very simple protocol in the way that you send a request, wait, get a response, and that's done. That is how HTTP works. Now it is same as the communication between two individuals, two humans. I'm sure that when we didn't have the languages in place, people used to communicate either using signals or using actions or using some words which the other guy could understand. Now that we've grown through the ages and we have standardized languages, we can communicate with each other using this protocol called the language, which we speak in, right? Yet, we are stateless beings. That is, if suppose I were to ask you, what is your bank account number and how much money do you have in it? Will you tell me? No, right? Because we don't have any state which has been established between us. But you would give the same information to your brother, right? Because there has been a state established. Now, when the concept of state is very important in any protocol and especially in HTTP. What is the concept of state? You may have heard that HTTP is a stateless protocol. Can anyone of you just try to explain what is statelessness and why is HTTP stateless? Just take a try. There are no right or wrong answers there.
Each transaction is not related to the previous one.
Each transaction is not related.
Independent transaction.
Each transaction is independent. Yes, exactly. What is the example of a stateful transaction or a stateful protocol?
It remembers the previous transaction.
Right. What would be the example of such a protocol?
File transfer.
FTP or Telnet, right? Or even SMTP, etc. Now these are stateful protocols wherein the developer or the person using the protocol does not need to build in the statefulness. Statefulness is already built into the protocol. That is, once you log in, the protocol takes care of your state. That is where HTTP is different. Wherein once you use HTTP doesn't care about how the state is maintained. It is up to the developers that they have to implement the state. Okay. Now, if you consider each of us can be each of us can be related to a program. Let us say each of us are digital beings, right, with lot of programs that we have. Now these programs are built into us based on our profession, based on our education, based on our ways of living that we've come through right from childhood, right? I hope all of us will agree. Now this is where the concept, this concept is which I will take forward in explaining you all the concepts of web application security, because it is very closely related. Now again, I would just like to say that whatever I say here, whatever concepts I try to explain you are mostly my own thinking. I am not taken from any book. So in case you have a difference of opinion, you can always pitch in and just discuss about it. Yes. So each of us are programs which have built into us modules, and these modules help us in interacting with the outside world. Right? As a child, as a baby, we don't have any programs. We are plain vanilla. If someone comes and asks us, gives us a chocolate, we will take it. If someone comes and asks us information about our internal matters of the family, we'll give it, because we don't have a concept of threat or risk or security. As we grow up, we grow up and start studying, etc. We start gaining some insight into what privacy is, how to deal with people, etc., etc. Then we are into, suppose, higher college. That is where we start building our services. We select the stream of education based on the services we will provide tomorrow to the other organizations or in the professional world. For example, someone takes up MBA, someone takes up MCA, someone goes into the army. So each of us are building certain services within us which we will be providing to the external world. Then we get into our jobs and we are full-fledged servers. Right? Each of us is a server providing some services to the organization or the community in the larger perspective. So the baseline is each of us here are servers, right? Each of us has a specific application running. So a person in the government, let's say it's a government application. Person in the army is an army application. So on and so forth. Now, if you see, as an individual, each of us is prone to certain specific risks, right? For example, a risk for a beggar will not be same as the risk for, say, Anil Ambani, right? The risk profile, as we call it, is completely different for each individual based on the services he provides. When I communicate to each of you, I communicate using a HTTP protocol because it is stateless. Right? I ask you a question, you answer that. But tomorrow if I build a relation, probably, after a number of interactions, we come to know each other. That is where the state builds in. And we start trusting each other, sharing information which we would not share with someone else. That is where this concept of authentication comes in. Authentication in humans is a very slow process. Right? Within the family, it happens over a few years when the young baby comes to know that these are my relatives, and then we start sharing information. Whereas in case of adults, we take quite an amount of time to authenticate each other finally, and then a session is established. Right? And then we start sharing information. The same is the concept with web application security. Web applications. We build in applications over servers. The servers run over OS. Okay, OS is nothing but like a baby. Then we have servers which are built in, which is same as how we have been educated, etc. And then we are full-fledged web application servers once we start providing those services, right? And as I said, I think the copy is done. I will just start on the PDF. Right. Alright. So we were talking about the relationship between how humans interact with each other and how applications interact with users over the internet, right? Okay. As we just discussed, HTTP is one of the simplest protocols. It has a request and a response. It is a request-response protocol where each request is discrete and related to the and not related to the previous request. On the back end, there is, in most cases, a database. Now, application receives the request, sends it to the database. Database processes that query and sends it back to the application. and the application further sends it back to the user. This is how HTTP happens. Now, as we were discussing, a protocol is a set of rules. In web, HTTP defines the set of rules how applications or web applications will interact with the users, right? There is a term called URI, which is a Uniform Resource Identifier. It is an absolute part of a certain resource over the internet. I'll just get one step deeper into how a HTTP request is transmitted over the wire. If you see, a HTTP request has request line, headers and content. An example would be something like this. Now we've got get, a number of request commands, or you can call it HTTP request commands like get, post, head, delete, etc. etc. Now that goes in the request line. Then we have the headers. In case it is a post request, we will have a body to it also, that means CI. Now headers in the HTTP are of three types typically: general headers, request headers and entity headers. Battery to be. So essentially three types of headers. See, some of these information, some of these specifics are for information perspective. You can read more about them later. So these are the typical general headers which are used over the HTTP protocol: Pragma, Equalize, Trailer, etc. There is something called as the request headers. The request headers are essentially information that a browser sends to the server, saying this is what I can accept, this is what I understand, and this is what I am expecting. So we will have headers like accept header, accept character set, accept encoding, etc., etc., where browser is saying this is what my version is, this is what I can understand. Entity header is related to the information about the content in the response. For example, content encoding, content language, etc., etc. This is specific to the content, and it will vary based on what the client and server communicate with each other. These are called the request methods, which are specific to HTTP: get, post, put, delete, head, trace, etc. And these are specific. These are specifically used in the request response. Typically, two types of requests that are used over the internet: get and post requests. Whenever you click on a link, it sends a get request. Whenever you submit a form, typically it sends a post request. For every request, there is a response, and the response is of the format that it has a status line, headers, and again content. So if you see between the request and response, the status line and headers are common. The content is specifically there in the response, and in the request, only in post request, the content would be there. There are something called as response codes. For example, you would have seen this common code, right? 404. The status line contains the code, the response code for a specific HTTP response. So we have code starting from 1 till 500. And what do they mean? 100 to 199 mean informational status codes. For example, if the processing is continuing and further packets are to be sent, then we will have a code like 100. Successful is 200 to 299 with various meanings. Redirection is if a site authenticates, or if a site wants you to go to another site to fetch content, then it will use the redirection response code. If there is a client error, we will have between 4 to 499, and server error. You must have seen 500 internal server error as one of the most common errors.